Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Manchester United have drawn Liverpool in the FA Cup 4th round. It is at Old Trafford. So we play Liverpool twice in a week because we've got them in the Premier League on Sunday at Anfield. We'll be playing Liverpool in the Cup either on the 23rd or the 24th. Now, we progressed to the 4th round of the FA Cup by beating Watford in the 3rd round 1-0. Like I said, it weren't the best of performances, but we still got the win. Don't forget, Ole Gunnar Solsjaer made 9 changes in that game. And I said 6 of the 11 that started were academy graduates. Liverpool progressed to the 4th round by beating Aston Villa in the 3rd round by 4-1. Now, we have played Liverpool quite a few times in the FA Cup over the years. Don't forget, we've won the FA Cup 12 times, so we are the second most successful team in FA Cup history. Liverpool have then won it around 7 or 8 times, but the last time Liverpool won the FA Cup was back in 2006, so that's around 15 years ago now. Definitely the tie of the round, and that should be on BBC One. But the game on Sunday in the league is going to be massive. It's the top of a table clash. Man United and Liverpool is the biggest game in English football because they are the two most successful teams historically. Now, Liverpool are winless in their last 3 league games. Anfield is a fortress. You know, they're unbeaten in 69 Premier League games at Anfield. Obviously, we lost at Anfield last season 2-0. Lost there back in December 2018, 3-1. That was Jose Mourinho's final game as Man United manager. The last time we won at Anfield was back in 2016 when Wayne Rooney had scored late on. Jurgen Klopp, though, is a very, very good manager. Like I've already said, Jurgen Klopp has been at Liverpool now for over 5 years. He's been there since 2015. Liverpool is the 3rd club in his managerial career. Before he was at Liverpool, he was at Borussia Dortmund. He won a few trophies at Borussia Dortmund, and before then he was at Mainz 05. I think actually Mainz 05 got relegated when they had Jurgen Klopp. Jurgen Klopp has won 4 trophies at Liverpool so far. Obviously last season he won the Premier League. That was Liverpool's first title in 30 years. He also won the Super Cup and he won the FIFA Club World Cup. And the season before, he won the Champions League. Liverpool have won the Champions League 6 times. And I think it was last season, Jurgen Klopp extended his contract with Liverpool until 2024. Obviously, before Liverpool had Jurgen Klopp, they had Brendan Rodgers. Rodgers enjoyed one good season at Liverpool. I think before Brendan Rodgers, they had Roy Hodgson. He was a very poor manager. He's probably one of the worst managers that Liverpool have had. Before that, they had Kenny Dalglish. Thought he was a good player, but I don't think he was that good as a manager. Don't forget they had Rafael Benitez. They won the Champions League under his guidance. And don't forget they had Gerard Houllier as well. Quite a few weeks ago, he passed away. So they've had quite a few managers. And Liverpool, they press well and they play expansive football, and they have got very, very good players. Like I said, Sadio Mane, he's a world-class player. Mohamed Salah, he's a world-class player, but there has been some games this season where he hasn't been clinical enough in front of goal. They've also got Roberto Firmino, who's also a good player. They've got Origi, who's obviously a backup striker. I think they could sell Origi this year, to be honest with you. Diego Jota's made an impact at Liverpool since they got him in. Liverpool got him last summer from Wolves. He's currently out with injury at the moment. Liverpool have obviously got Shaqiri. I think Liverpool could be selling him this year. Shaqiri makes an impact from the from the substitutes bench, doesn't he? Like I said, they've got Jordan Henderson, who's also a good player. He's not a world-class player though, is he? They've also got Jorginho Wijnaldum. I think Liverpool are going to be letting him go because he recently rejected a contract extension. They've also got Fabinho. He's also a good player. Can play as a holding midfielder and a centre-half. They've got Thiago. They got Thiago last summer from Bayern Munich. Don't forget my club, Man United, wanted him. He sustained a couple of injuries at Liverpool. They've also got James Milner. Surely James Milner will leave Liverpool soon. Will he go to another club after Liverpool or will he retire? Liverpool have also got that Naby Keita, but he's not one of their first choice midfielders and he's out with injury at the moment. They've got two very, very good fullbacks in Andrew Robertson and Trent Alexander-Arnold. Obviously, they've got the best centre-half in the world in Virgil van Dijk. He's been at Liverpool a few years now. Liverpool paid £75 million for him, so he's the second most expensive centre-half in the world, just behind Harry Maguire. Virgil van Dijk, by the way, is out for the season because he's got a serious injury. They've also got Gomez. He's one of their first choice centre-halves. He's out with injury at the moment. They've also got Matip. He's recently been injured again, but I heard that he could be back for the game against us on Sunday. And they've also got a very, very good goalkeeper in Alisson. Liverpool did let a few players go last year, like I mentioned. They let Nathaniel Klein go. They let Dejan Lovren go. Maybe they'll regret that decision now, letting Dejan Lovren go, with obviously the injuries that they've got to the centre-halves. But Dejan Lovren was their deadwood from my perception. Adam Lallana, they also let him go. They let Harry Wilson go out on loan to Cardiff. They also let Trivella go and they let Hoover go. Obviously, Liverpool are going to be the favourites to beat us, but I think there's a chance that we could beat them. There's a good chance we'll beat them in the FA Cup 4th round at Old Trafford, because Liverpool haven't got a good record at Old Trafford. They've only beat us a couple of times there in the last, 10 or 11 years. I think the last time they beat us at Old Trafford in the league, was it back in 2014, 3-0, obviously when we had David Moyes. And they beat us obviously at Old Trafford back in 2009, 4-1. Now it says the winners of us and Liverpool play Stockport, West Ham, or is it Doncaster in the 5th round. So anyway, that's the breaking news on that. Now I'm going to delve into another topic. Now, earlier on, I give you my reaction to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's press conference ahead of our game against Burnley tomorrow night. Solskjaer reveals his January transfer plans. He said it's unlikely that we will make any signings in this January transfer window. Woodward, don't forget, did say last year that he will back Ole Gunnar Solskjaer with a long-term plan centred around summer transfer windows. But obviously, Ed Woodward has promised that he will back Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. This January transfer window is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's 5th transfer window at the football club. We're expecting players to leave in this January transfer window because Solskjaer recently held talks with 6 players he wants to get rid of in this January transfer window. And I think the players we are going to get rid of is Jesse Lingard, Phil Jones, Marcus Rojo, Sergio Romero. I'm also expecting Odion Ighalo to leave. His loan expires at the end of this month. I'm also expecting Daniel James to go out on loan, and there's obviously been rumours of Brandon Williams going out on loan. And I think more players will leave Man United in the summer. Now, earlier on today, I give you the latest on the transfer news. I obviously give you the latest news on Jadon Sancho. Jadon Sancho has made an admission saying that this season has been difficult at Borussia Dortmund, but he said he's happy that he's back among the goals in the Bundesliga. Now, don't forget, Jadon Sancho was our number 1 priority target last summer, but obviously Borussia Dortmund wanted £108 million and we was not willing to meet that valuation, and we believe we can get Sancho for less than £100 million this year. If Sancho leaves, it will be the summer transfer window. He won't leave in this January transfer window, and I'm very, very sceptical of that. Earlier on today as well, I give you the news on Romain Fivera, if I pronounce his name correctly. He currently plays for Stade Brest. Obviously, Stade Brest paid £400,000 for him from Monaco last July. And back on Christmas Eve, he signed a contract extension with Stade Brest until 2025. Leeds 10 Sport, which is a French outlet, they said that Man United are set to battle PSG for him. And he is a midfielder and he's 22 years of age. You already know the news on Dayot Upamecano. You know the news on Max Aarons and all of that. But Solskjaer's even said that we need to make some more signings if we are to be genuine title contenders. I think we are looking to make around 4 signings this year to complete our squad overhaul. Now, hopefully, we can beat Burnley tomorrow night at Turf Moor. It is our game in hand. We was supposed to be playing Burnley on the opening day of the season, but like I mentioned, it got postponed. If we do beat Burnley, we will go 3 points clear at the top of the Premier League. Obviously, if we draw with Burnley, we will go 1 point clear at the top of the Premier League. Now, we should be beating Burnley, like I've said. Burnley are a pretty poor outfit. They're sitting 16th in the Premier League. But they found a bit of form recently. They've won 3 of their last 4 games in all competitions. Like I said, the last time we lost at Turf Moor was back in 2009. It was a goal from Robert Blake. We did win this fixture last season at Turf Moor 2-0, but Burnley beating us at Old Trafford 2-0, and that was Burnley's first win at Old Trafford in 58 years. Burnley's current manager is Sean Dyche. And they have got some good players in their team. Like I've said to you already, they've got Chris Wood. He's probably their best player. They've got that Ashley Barnes. He's one of their key players. It'll be probably them two playing up front tomorrow night. They've also got Jay Rodriguez. He's one of their key players. But Jay Rodriguez is out with injury. They've also got that Cork. He's one of their key players. They've got James Tarkowski. One of their key players is a centre-half. They've got that Charlie Taylor. He's also been out with injury. Burnley brought quite a few players in last year. Obviously, they brought Josh Brownhill in, they brought Will Norris in, they brought Anthony Mancini in, and they also brought Dale Stephens in. Ole Gunnar Solsjaer has promised changes. Don't forget, Solskjaer provided us with an update on Luke Shaw, Eric Bailly and Paul Pogba. He did initially say that they are all doubts for the game against Burnley, but they should be definitely back for the game against Liverpool on Sunday. And Victor Lindelof's also been injured. Bailly has obviously got a neck injury. He recently sustained this neck injury in our 1-0 win against Watford because obviously Dean Henderson collided with Eric Bailly. Solskjaer did actually say after the game that Bailly will require furthermore assessment for his suspected neck injury, and that's my element of concern about Eric Bailly. He's far too injury prone. But yeah, we've got to beat Burnley tomorrow night. Like I say, we've done very, very well away from home in the Premier League this season. We haven't lost away from home in the Premier League this season. You know what I mean? There is 3 trophies that we can pursue this season, and that is the Premier League, the FA Cup, and the Europa League. And that game against Real Sociedad next month in the Europa League is not going to be easy because they've been doing very, very well in the La Liga. But it's very, very imperative that we get our first trophy on the board under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era. You know, we haven't won a trophy now for just over 4 years. It was a shame that we lost the EFL Cup semi-final to Man City. Because I wanted Solskjaer to reach his first final as Man United manager, and the EFL Cup was a priority for us. You know, when that's 4 semi-final defeats now in a row under Solskjaer, because last season we lost 3 semi-finals. You know, City have reached their 4th consecutive League Cup final. They will be playing Tottenham in the final. City have won the EFL Cup for the last 3 seasons in a row. But yeah, and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has been Manchester United manager now for just over 2 years. You know, he's managed over 100 games as Man United manager in all competitions. His win ratio would have improved a lot more with how good we have been in recent months. Solskjaer's under contract with the club until 2022. When he got the job permanently in March 2019, he signed a 3-year deal. Obviously, he's more than halfway through now that 3-year deal. This is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's 2nd full season as Man United manager, and I did say this season was always going to be big for him. But I said if we can finish in the top 4, the top 3 this season, if we can win a trophy, that would represent a very good season for Man United, and that would give us something to build on. If we won the Premier League title, that would absolutely be remarkable. It really, really would. But I'm very, very sceptical that we'll win the league this season. I think we'll definitely win another Premier League title at some point. We haven't won the Premier League since 2013. Solskjaer insists that we're not in the title race now, and he said the same thing after our 1-0 win against Wolves, but he said if we are still challenging at the top come March, he'll start to believe that we are in the title race. Obviously, Man United fans have got different perceptions on Solskjaer. You know, some Man United fans are Ole in and some Man United fans are Ole out. Obviously, with how good we have been in recent months, my perceptions started to slowly change on Solskjaer, and a few other Man United fans' perceptions have slowly started to change. But certainly earlier on in the season, I was demanding him out of the club, and I was very, very critical of Solsjaer, of how inconsistent we was. Even though not all of the blame stemmed from Solskjaer, obviously there's certain players that have got to take responsibility as well. Solskjaer hasn't got a proven pedigree as a manager, has he? Because obviously before he came to us, he was at Molde. He won a few Norwegian titles at Molde, but they're obviously not a big club. And before he was at Molde, he was at Cardiff, and he enjoyed a very, very short tenure at Cardiff. He got Cardiff relegated, and that's why he got sacked from Cardiff. But reflecting now on Solskjaer's been at the club, like I say, he's gained some managerial experience and he's learned quite a bit. There's still things that he's got to learn on the job. We obviously want Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to succeed as Manchester United manager. His priority is leading the club to long-term success. But my reservation about Ole, more than anything, like I said so many times, is his decision making. Because in a lot of his games at Man United, he has been tactically naive. But on the other side of things, there has been games where he showed tactical flexibility as well. Can Solskjaer emulate into a top-level manager? We've got to give him credit. The way he's turned us around. He's obviously got us joint top of the Premier League table. Got us to the EFL Cup semi-final this season. Got us to the FA Cup 4th round. Did well last season, his first full season. Got us qualification for the Champions League. Got us 3rd, and he guided us to 3 semi-finals. Even though we have missed out on quite a few players since Solskjaer came in, I still think he's made good signings as Man United manager. He's spent over £200 million at the football club. We've seen obviously a lot of players leave the club as well since he got recommended in. We've seen players like Lukaku and Ander Herrera leave. Probably they are 2 players that, Man United should have kept really. We've seen likes of Darmian and Smalling leave. We've seen Valencia leave. We've seen Young leave. We've seen Sanchez leave. We've seen Gomez leave. Obviously, we've loaned quite a few players out as well, don't forget. So definitely there is positive to take, and we are unbeaten in our last 10 league games. We went on a 19-game unbeaten run in all competitions last season, and we was 14 unbeaten in the Premier League. But with how poor we was at the start of the season, that I thought, Solskjaer was going to get sacked. I really, really did. I thought the first part of last season, Solskjaer was also going to get sacked. But, we have got good players, like I've mentioned so many times before. I've obviously got Marcus Rashford, that's obviously very, very good. I like Rashford a lot. I just think we need to keep him out wide because that's where he's more effective. We've got Edison Cavani, that's good, and Cavani's enjoyed a fantastic start to his Man United career. Cavani's ready to go now according to Solskjaer, because obviously Cavani has served his 3-match ban. He did get given a 3-match ban for the racist comment that he put on social media last month. We got Edison Cavani on deadline day in the summer on a free. He signed a 1-year contract with Man United with an option of a 2nd year. Solskjaer was speaking about him early on in the season as well, saying that he's definitely a starter for Man United and we are looking to extend his contract. And Solskjaer revealed the first thing that Cavani asked him when he came in, and that was whether he could wear the number 7 shirt. I've got to say Martial, he's really, really improved recently. He's proven to be more clinical in front of goal, but earlier on in the season, Anthony Martial was out of form because he wasn't being clinical enough in front of goal. Martial can play out wide and he can play centrally. A lot last season he was playing centrally, but last season Martial was good, and he was good in his debut season under Louis van Gaal. I think Mason Greenwood's also a good player. Hasn't played a lot of football recently. Don't forget earlier on in the season he had personal issues. obviously had injury at one point and he was out with illness, but Ollie's been defending Greenwood a lot this season. And at the start of this season, we give him that number 11 shirt. Bruno Fernandes, he's obviously our best player and is the best signing we have made since the Sir Alex Ferguson era. Bruno Fernandes has been at the club now, is it a year or almost a year? Bruno Fernandes scored a lot of goals at Man United. Let's be honest, a lot of his goals have come from the penalty spot, but he's also provided assists. One player of the month for December, he's won that now quite a few times, reflecting on his good performances, and he predominantly plays in that number 10. I also think that Donny van de Beek is a good player. That's when he plays. He seldom starts in the Premier League. He's only started 2 games in the league so far, and that was against West Ham and Southampton. A lot of his appearances have come from that substitutes bench. Now, according to recent reports, Donny van de Beek has decided that he wants to stay at Man United and fight for his place. He did start against Watford recently. He put a very good performance out. Some United fans thought he was in an unexpected role. But Solsjaer recently said that Donny van de Beek has a bright future at Man United, and he tips Donny van de Beek to emulate Fred and Lindelof by succeeding at Man United. End of the day, we got Donny van de Beek in a deal worth £40 million. Paid 35 million up front and there was 5 million in add-ons, but you can play him in like 3 different roles. I've also been very, very impressed with Fred. I think he's enjoyed good games this season where he has showed good attacking intent and, he's broke up the play well. I just think he needs to read his game better. Fred's been at the club now a few years. We got him in a deal worth £52 million from Shakhtar Donetsk. Since Paul Pogba came back from that ankle injury, he's done very, very well, Paul Pogba, but obviously now he's out injured again at the moment. Don't forget Paul Pogba was out for the vast majority of last season with an ankle injury. Now, there's a good chance Pogba will leave in the summer, like I updated you recently. Mauricio Pochettino wants Paul Pogba at PSG, and Pochettino has identified Paul Pogba as his number 1 transfer target. We have revealed our asking price. We do want around £75 million for him. I think we're going to find it extremely difficult to get £75 million for him. But he's also been relentlessly linked with a return to Juventus. Don't forget swap deals have been high on the agenda. Real Madrid, Barcelona and Inter Milan have been in for him before. Don't forget earlier on in the season we triggered that 1-year extension on his contract, so he's under contract on Man United until June 2022. As far as I'm aware, there's been no talks over getting him a long-term contract at the club. But Ed Woodward recently said he's preparing to enter contract talks with Paul Pogba and his agent Minio Raiola. Don't forget Minio Raiola made an announcement last month to 20 Sport. And Solsjaer was furious with Minio Raiola's announcement because it was just before the game against RB Leipzig. Pogba's our most expensive signing at the moment because we paid £89 million for him. Now, I think Luke Shaw's also a good player. He's a good left back. But like I say, my element of concern about Luke Shaw is too injury prone. I think Tellez has done quite well since he's coming, but there again he's enjoyed a couple of bad games. I've also been very, very impressed with Harry Maguire. He's rejuvenated himself because Harry Maguire did have early season troubles because he had that incident in Greece and he got sent off in one of England's games. Harry Maguire, though, certainly wasn't worth the £80 million that we paid for him. He's our current captain at the moment. I think Bay's a good centre-half, but like I say, he's just too injury-prone. I think Wan-Bissaka's a good right-back, but what concerns me about Bissaka is his lack of attacking intent and his distribution. And I think, David De Gea is getting back to his best. This is David De Gea's 10th season at Manchester United, so he has been a long servant and He's made over 500 appearances for the football club in all competitions. David De Gea will remain our number one for at least this season. So there you go. And as you all know, Timothy Foster-Mensah is also leaving the club in this January transfer window. I think I forgot to mention that earlier on, but I've mentioned it obviously on my other videos. So what's your reaction to the draw? Drop your comments below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless, and I'll see you all again very, very soon.